The verdict is finally in. Eric Lindros is a member of... No way. The Philadelphia Flyers.
With all the money and all the players the Flyers invested in Eric Lindros, when does it start to pay off?
There have been so many free-for-alls in baseball lately, it's starting to look more like hockey than hockey. Is it time for baseball to clamp down on fighting?
The Dream Team's begun its Olympic parade. When are we going to get sick and tired of Bambi versus Godzilla?
I'm your host, Angelo Cataldi. We'll be discussing these issues and more next on the season finale of The Great Sports Debate.
Once again, you guys, this all boils down to an issue of dollars and cents.
Man, it's tough being the voice of reason on this show.
How could you have been around sports all these years and learned nothing?
I am sick and tired of trying to educate you weasels.
Hi, and welcome to the Great Sports Debate from the Vaults. I'm your host, Colleen Wolfe. As you've heard, we're going back to the finale of Season 2, June 30th, 1992. A show centered around Eric Lindros, but also included some special guests. One with a great right arm and several with 4 legs. But we'll get back to that later. At the time, Lindros was regarded as the most promising player in hockey, selected first overall in the '91 NHL entry draft by the Quebec Nordiques. However, Lindros refused to play for Quebec, and after sitting out a year, a trade was finally worked to the Rangers and the Flyers. Arbitrator Larry Bertuzzi ruled just minutes before this very show that the Philadelphia Flyers earned the rights to 19-year-old hockey sensation Eric Lindros. Let's listen to the immediate reaction to this momentous decision.
Welcome to the Great Sports Debate, a weekly discussion of the most controversial and interesting issues in sports. I'm your host, Angelo Cataldi, a talk show host on 610 WIP All Sports Radio from 6 to 10 weekday mornings. This is the rest of our panel on our season finale. Glenn Macnow, the business and football writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Jason Stark, the baseball writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Al Morganti, local columnist for the Daily Local News, right, Al? Plus the hockey news.
And your co-host.
And my co-host. Feast your eyes for a second here. Just hold this up. Just take a very good look, because you're going to be seeing a lot of this in the next 10 to 15 years in this city. Eric Lindros, the most coveted young player in hockey today, not long ago, was granted to the Philadelphia Flyers after a long dispute over his trading. Al, first of all, what was your reaction?
I was amazed. Knowing the NHL, you cannot be amazed at many things. But the way this worked out, it took so long, it looked like the easy decision was to go to the Rangers. It was the easy decision.
The key to the whole thing, and we talked about this last week, but the key to the whole case in trying to prove whether the Flyers actually had a deal with Quebec was the call placed by the Flyers moments before the draft to Eric Lindros.
And the key to that was Quebec was buried in the Rangers by other general managers, not just the Flyers.
Yeah.
Lou Lamoriello, I presume, Mike Keenan, I presume, said, we were told by Quebec we could not talk to him unless we had agreed to a deal. And if you came in and testified to that, and the Flyers and Quebec both admitted that the Flyers had permission, the deal's done.
Right. Glenn, what was your reaction?
I'm really amazed because I said last week it was a toss-up, but in my deepest gut, I felt he was going to New York.
And you guys were both there.
Yeah, we were there.
You guys were both there when the whole thing went down.
We saw the reaction. The Flyers going from ecstasy to 10 minutes later looking, like their house had just burned down. And it really does seem sort of a just desserts for Abu and for the Flyers. And, people have said for the last week, oh, you're overstating what this kid is. He's another good rookie. Right. This kid is the next, I think. I've seen him play. You've seen him play. I think he's the next in the line of players that goes from Gordie Howe to Bobby Orr to Gretzky to Lemieux to this kid.
This is the greatest news I've heard in a long time. Jason, you, in the past few weeks, the Herschel Walker signing, which got people excited, now the Eric Lindros signing, do you think things have been bad for a long time in this city in sports? Did the month of June, which ends today, by the way, did it turn things around?
Well, this has been an unbelievable month.
Right.
But this particular story, to me, is one of the biggest moments in Philadelphia sports history.
And this comes from a baseball guy.
Hey, this is the Julius Erving deal, man. This is this is Moses Malone deal.
Malone.
We haven't had a lot of superstars come dropping in out of the sky here.
Right.
And to have this guy appear and to have it happen the way it happened, I mean, this whole town has something to be excited about beyond anything it's had in years.
Right. Now, Al, in a couple of minutes, we're going to gauge just what kind of an impact he can have on the success of the Flyers. But first, I want to talk a little bit about what it means to have a superstar in a city, because this is a guy who's supposed to be a huge superstar in his sport. What will it mean to the attendance, to the attention the Flyers get, to the way the team is perceived? Try to give us
the
a feel
attendance.
for it.
I mean, I know that people were hesitant about their season tickets just this year. I mean, deadline passed, and a lot of people didn't send it in. Now, you want those tickets knowing they may not be as good, but you want to be there in 5 years when they're going to win cups.
Right.
I mean, there aren't many in hockey that have been born to it that haven't won the cup.
That's right.
There really aren't.
This is the building block to a cup.
Sure.
It's the best way to get
And
to a
it's
cup.
so important to the Flyers from a business sense because they've got that new arena coming in. They've got 21,000 seats to fill.
Right.
All those luxury boxes to sell.
Right.
They've sold fewer than half of them.
Right.
Barclay, who was the biggest attraction in that building, is gone. Now you've got an attraction, and it's going to mean a lot for the club. Al can tell you on the ice, but I can tell you off the ice. It'll mean a hell of a lot.
But they're not going to be just a focal point here. They're going to be a focal point everywhere.
Everywhere, North
because
America.
I remember when Pete Rose came to the Phillies and what it was like that first spring training.
Right.
You had every reporter and every camera crew from here to Tokyo showed up, and that's what the Flyers are going to be now. Everybody's going to be here to
There are a lot of
see
camera
Eric
crews in
Lindros.
Tokyo
This is
that
great.
follow hockey.
You bet, man.
I don't want to get, I'm so psyched that this happened. We just found out like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, you couldn't control yourself
I'm totally
off the air hopping
excited. All right, I'm completely psyched. But I have to also talk negative for a second, because that stinking lion creep, Marcel Aubut, the owner of the Nordiques, that is just as much satisfaction to me, Al, that guy got his comeuppance by the intelligent Italian arbitrator, Larry Bertuzzi.
And he got his comeuppance so much that all he gets now is $15 million.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta admit-
boy, won't he suffer
Yeah,
with all
but
that?
yeah.
Hold on. Did they not call him a lion creep?
Absolutely, man. This guy has had
And
no
he'll-
credibility.
And he'll feel bad all the way to the bank.
I don't care.
It's official.
Great. He got his due, and the Flyers, oh, this is going to be incredible. When we get back, we'll gauge a little bit about the success of the Flyers in the Eric Lindros era. Sounds great, doesn't it? We'll be right back.
So what did the acquisition of Eric Lindros mean for the Flyers? A team constantly in the hunt for a cup? And how much did they have to give up for the star player? We'll hear more about that and what was a new era of Flyers hockey when we return on the Great Sports Debate from the Vault.